Specific challenges faced and the company's strategy moving forward. Kurt, thanks so much for joining us today. You know, some say that we do have a lot of challenges that we need to face in South Africa after the Soccer World Cup. Others say that we don't. What has your experience been in South Africa? We know that it is your #1 priority when it comes to Africa.
That's right. Thank you, Eleni, for having me. I think there are lessons to learn. When you look backwards, Barcelona or the Olympics, countries that hosted Olympics or world exhibitions or world soccer games, I think they should plan like a normal company. I mean, the government should plan for an aftermath of that, because there will always be an aftermath. I think the government expects a lot of investors to do their job, build hotels in that case to have a good, what you call it, a balance when the games happen. And then the games are over, and then you have 2, 3, 4 hungry years afterwards, and that should be planned. And of course, what I'm aiming at is really the budget of tourism spending. And in South Africa, where the tourism is such a big industry, I think one should look a little bit more at the spending after the 2, 3 years.
Well, you've looked at the spending, obviously, and this is why you're actually going to be, launching a new hotel in South Africa, in Cape Town in particular. That is set to be in operation by the 4th quarter of next year. Why come into the market now? I mean, we know that you also entered the markets prior to the World Cup, but why open up a hotel after the Soccer World Cup? Do you think there is going to be enough spending by tourists in the country?
Well, in general, we say in our company there is never a bad moment to grow. During 2009, when many companies just didn't grow, they consolidated, it was our most growth year during 2009, and our pipeline has never been bigger than now. What I see here in South Africa, I mean, first of all, when that hotel comes online, I hope by then the situation has improved. When you look what South Africa went through for the soccer game, I mean, from the infrastructure point of view, trains, new hotels, telecommunication, I mean, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic different than when I came here 15 years ago. So South Africa is on the positive map. A lot of people have seen that you are not murdered when you come here, like they predict when you live abroad. So I think there is a good future for the MICE business, meaning meeting and events.
It's quite interesting. I mean, if you look at the three-star hotel space in South Africa, and in Cape Town in particular, we actually haven't seen a 3-star hotel being opened up in about 2 years. Most people have been focusing on 5-star hotels. So looking at that middle segment group, we know that the new hotel that you are going to be opening up next year is going to be in that sort of middle segment. Do you see a lot of demand coming through for these types of hotels as opposed to the 5-star hotels that have been really in demand over the last few years?
I think everywhere, 2009, you have seen a clear buy down from the, from the investment bankers who stay in the best hotels or people alike. And the buy down has not only been 1 step, it has in many cases been 2 steps. And we see that especially in emerging markets where they first implement always 5-star hotels, there is a big need for good 2-star hotels, or 3-star hotels rather, because when you look in these many African capitals, you have fantastic top-class hotels, but then the rest are not very reliable, not very clean, and to have a serial product like we have with Park Inn is of course a good thing to come to the market with, when you have good standards and the brand and the brand is a promise always.
You were talking about most companies consolidating during the tough times, especially during 2009, and obviously you're still expanding quite extensively. Looking at the tourism flows, I mean, looking at the interest and appetite for emerging markets, especially when it comes to African countries, do you see the tourism trends changing quite extensively? Because we know that for some time now, most people have been interested in various developed nations, and of course, especially when you look at the likes of Europe. Do you see that changing significantly?
Yes, I mean, many countries have, of course, improved in stability. Let me take an example. 10 years ago, when I came to the region, I wouldn't have gone into Zambia. Today, it's a fantastic tourist place to go to. So we want, of course, to go along these if I may say, good countries that are developing well. We want to be part of it. And there is another thing, when you look throughout the continent, there are the old traditional hotels that have been there from other brands that have been there traditionally for donkey's years. People have lived very well, the prices were very high, and very little was put back into the property. In other words, many of these properties...
So maintenance was an issue.
Exactly, but they were quite tired. And to come now with a new fresh product like we do is of course an asset. Just
looking at the African continent, we know that you're obviously very present in South Africa, also Mozambique. We know you're opening up a Radisson Blu in Maputo. You've got 16 developments underway currently in Africa. Where do you see the most growth coming through?
That's really in the developing countries like Nigeria, Angola, where they have minerals, where they have oil, for obvious reasons, and where they also open a little bit for tourism now. I think it's slow, but it's coming.